everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming to be with me this morning. I really appreciate it. And happy December. I can't believe how many Merry Christmases I've already gotten. And it's only the 3rd of December. But I love it. We're very festive here. So if anyone was not able to come to our first nutrition talk, that was last month when we talked about general healthful eating and weight management. We do have a recording of that, so if anyone wants to get the link to see the recording of that and watch that on their own time, please come up to me after the presentation and I'm happy to help set that up with you, as well as today's presentation. So if you know of any friends that maybe after watching today's presentation might want to learn more about probiotics, fiber, and protecting a healthy gut, then please come up to me afterwards and we can help set you guys up with that link to be able to watch the video later. Okay? Awesome. All right, so our topic for this month is probiotics, fiber, and protecting a healthy gut. So we're going to be talking a lot about the GI system, basically digestion, the digestion process, and let's get right into it. So our gut microbiome, this is what we're going to be actually talking about the majority of today's presentation. So a microbiome is any community of living microorganisms. So microbiomes are in different environment situations. They're in different, every animal has a microbiome, every human being has a microbiome, which is basically a community of little tiny living creatures that help us perform our daily tasks and live. We're talking about specifically the microbiome in our gut, and that is where the majority of these tiny little microorganisms in our body live, in our gut, which is comprised of our stomach, our small intestine, and our large intestine. So this gut microbiome plays a huge role in our digestive health and our overall health. So I'm going to be talking a lot about our microbiome and the role it plays in our health. Okay, so the microbiome's effect on nutritional status. So these tiny gut microbes help harvest nutrients or energy from the diet. So they're going to help us break down the food that we're eating and help our body use them. It's going to assist in the synthesis of vitamins. So again, when we're taking in, for example, this beautiful salad, it's actually those tiny gut microbes that are helping break down the carbs, the fat, the protein, and helping our body utilize the vitamins within those food products. It's going to help support drug metabolism. So if anyone's on specific medications, it's going to help our body use those medications efficiently. So it's really important that our gut microbe is diverse and that we have a lot of happy, health gut bacteria to use. It's going to assist in gut cell renewal. So like I said, our gut is compromised of mainly our stomach, our small intestine, and our large intestine, and those are all organs. So it's important that those organs in and of themselves are healthy and thriving to be able to digest our food properly. It's going to act as a barrier against gut pathogens. So in our gut, we have bacteria, good bacteria, and some bad. And what we want is a diverse gut bacteria, and we want the good bugs to outweigh the bad bugs, is the simplest way of putting it. So if we have a healthy, diverse gut microbiome, we're going to be able to combat against those bad bugs or the bad pathogens that are in our gut that can cause GI distress. And we're going to be able to produce short-chain fatty acids. So with a healthy gut microbiome, our gut is going to be able to ferment our food and produce these short-chain fatty acids that can help prevent inflammation, which prevents chronic diseases. So it's as big as prevention of cardiovascular disease, even diseases like diabetes. It's a big deal. So we want happy, healthy microbiome for our overall nutritional status and health. So what are probiotics? We're talking about our gut microbiome. Probiotics is the biggest thing that we're going to talk about today. So the word probiotic itself comes from the Greek and it means for life. So again, probiotics are living organisms, and probiotics, when we're talking about the good bugs versus the bad bugs, probiotics are those good bugs. So we want probiotics, we want happy, healthy gut bacteria that is going to help us digest our food properly. So the definition of a probiotic is a living microorganism that, when administered in adequate amounts, offers a health benefit to our host. So that being said, probiotics, there's many different probiotics, there's many different strains that do many different things to help our body out and to help our overall health. And it's important to get an adequate amount of those different strains of probiotics to confer those specific health benefits. So what health benefits? What kind of health benefits can probiotics offer us? We're going to talk about that next. So good health starts in the gut. Probiotics can help strengthen our immune system, can help our body absorb the nutrients from our food, maintain our gut health, produce serotonin, or our happy hormone, so even hormone regulation. A lot of that happens right here in our gut. Some people call our gut our second brain because that's how interconnected those organs are to each other. If we're having a happy, healthy, diverse microbiome and our gut is working properly as it should, our brain should be functioning at a higher level, and it should reduce anxiety and stress and maintain a happy, healthy well-being. Improving bowel regularity. So this is the biggest one. When you hear about probiotics, most folks who are interested in probiotics or taking a probiotic supplement are usually doing so because they want more bowel regularity. So they're either having constipation, or they're having loose bowels, or infrequent, or bloating, or some type of discomfort around digestion and eating. And probiotics are first and foremost known to help with that, with comfortable digestion, which is important for us all. Okay, so where can we find probiotics? So we've learned that we want probiotics to keep our healthy gut microbiome thriving. Where can we find these things? So in our food, this is the biggest one that I want to stress. We can all increase our probiotic intake by seeking out specific food items. So these are going to be fermented food items. That being said, not all fermented food items have these good bacteria, these probiotics in them. For example, like a sourdough bread. Some fermented foods are fermented for the cooking purposes, for taste, for texture. But that being said, they're not actually going to have that probiotic effect anymore because of the way that they're produced. So for sourdough bread, it's cooked. The probiotics themselves are killed before you're ingesting them. So they're not going to have that necessary probiotic effect. But, for example, yes, Frank?
What's the temperature that it kills it?
It's actually pretty low. So around 115 degrees Fahrenheit is when it starts to kill off probiotics. But also, since there's so many different strains of probiotics and bacteria, some are killed at different temperatures. So you might have some that are still thriving and staying alive and trying to help you at a higher temperature, but you're not going to get that full effect once a food product is heated above 115 degrees. Yes, JD?
If I buy a liquid probiotic from the store and put it in a grocery bag and then bring it to my home, will it lose its efficacy in that amount of time before I can get it back into the refrigerator?
No, not necessarily. So some probiotic supplements and some probiotic drinks or foods don't necessarily need to be refrigerated. Again, it depends on the specific strain of probiotic, and if you're going to take a specific supplement, then those directions should be on that supplement. And a lot of people think, since some probiotic supplements do need to be refrigerated, that those are always the best, but that's not necessarily true. Different strains are going to confer different health benefits, so it depends on what you're looking for from your probiotic, and keeping it refrigerated doesn't necessarily mean that that's the ideal probiotic. But time and temperature control is important for overall food safety. So I wouldn't say take the trip too far, if that makes sense. Okay. So we talked about sourdough bread as a fermented food that isn't necessarily giving you that probiotic benefit, but does anyone have an idea of a fermented food that...
Sauerkraut.
Yes, I love sauerkraut. So sauerkraut would be a fermented food that's a good example, because some sauerkrauts do confer a health benefit and do still have those probiotic strains living, and some do not. It depends on the production of the sauerkraut, and that's when label reading comes into play. Yes?
So which is the best? Do you eat it cold or do you eat it cooked? Because you said it's 115 or whatever?
Yeah.
Whatever you like.
Exactly. So when you're cooking or using a food that has probiotics and you want those probiotics to help you out, you want to keep those probiotics alive, you want to, if you're cooking the food product, you want to add it in at the very end, or you want to not cook it at all, and have it be cold. Eat your sauerkraut right out of the fridge.
But when they're cooking it, when they cook the probiotics out of it, if they cook it over 115 degrees?
Exactly. So if you are going to cook it and you still want to some of those probiotic effects, add it in at the very end of the cooking process, so you have the best chance of some of those probiotics staying alive before they get into your GI system.
How about kimchi?
Kimchi is another one, yes. So there's kimchi is a fermented cabbage as well, known in the Korean culture, or fermented bok choy, or I guess both.
It's got bok choy sometimes.
But a fermented food that definitely has probiotic benefits. But again, it depends on the production of that specific kimchi. So you've got to read the label to see if it still has live active cultures, and will give you that probiotic benefit. But there are many different brands in health food and just regular grocery stores these days that are specifically producing those fermented food items with the probiotics and live cultures still thriving, because of all the research that's going on in regards to probiotics and gut health. So reading the labels when buying those fermented food products can give you a better idea if they're going to have that probiotic effect.
Yeah.
Yes?
The sauerkraut.
Yeah.
It would be better to buy the cold sauerkraut in the refrigerated section as compared to the canned sauerkraut, which undoubtedly has very little probiotics.
I would say yes. Probably the production process of the canned sauerkraut is likely not going to have that probiotic effect any longer. Yes, Miss Leela?
Yogurt.
Yes, yogurt. So yogurt, I would say, is the most common probiotic food because of its production and not being cooked. Unless the yogurt is pasteurized to a point of killing those probiotics, many yogurt products like our Greek yogurt, like Activia is one that we carry here and is very popular because it actually advertises its probiotic effect and specifically breaks down its probiotic strains, and is known to help with GI regulation. So increasing your yogurt intake can be very helpful in increasing your probiotic intake.
Are we going
Awesome.
to carry Greek yogurt?
We have it.
We do.
Oh, okay.
We do carry.
And we have the Activia too. as well.
Yes.
I don't want the activity, I just want the plain Greek yogurt.
We have that.
We have a delicious plain Greek yogurt that is in our delicious salads here today. So here are some other just key food products that contain probiotics. We named a lot. We named the sauerkraut, the kimchi, even some raw cheeses, some raw milk and buttermilk, miso, yogurt or kefir, some olives, pickles, apple cider vinegar, which is also in our salad today. Again, it's important with these products because not all pickles, the way they're produced, still keep that probiotic effect. But again, there's amazing brands out there and amazing products that are specifically being produced to continue to provide the probiotic benefits in those fermented foods. And then we have some examples up here too of the probiotic supplements. So there's many different probiotic supplements out there today, and many of them give you specific breakdowns of what they're going to help you do in your body. So if you're looking for a general probiotic supplement, you're having some minor GI discomfort when you're eating, and you just want to help, produce a healthy microbiome in your gut, and you don't necessarily want to increase your yogurt intake. You want to look for a general probiotic that has at least 10 billion probiotic strains. As you can see here, they go up from 50 billion to 150 billion, but 10 billion is sort of the baseline that you want to look for. And then there's also different probiotic supplements if you're looking for immune health, if you're looking for women's health, colon care. So if you're really having, irritable bowel syndrome or things like frequent constipation or diarrhea, looking for specific probiotics and working with, of course, your doctor before you start that probiotic supplement. Yes?
Have you seen the probiotics that you buy in the containers that are good for anti-inflammatory?
Yes, I am going to talk about anti-inflammatory effects of probiotics, but yes, if you're looking for reducing overall inflammation, avoiding chronic disease, probiotics have definitely been studied to do that as well. It's all about that short chain fatty acid production in your gut that's going to help reduce overall inflammation and avoid chronic disease. And there are specific supplements that can help achieve that. Okay, I'm sorry, that picture does not look very beautiful, but we're going to talk about fiber since we are talking about overall GI health, and fiber, we just can't not talk about it. It's too important. So there's two main types of fiber. There's soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. There are specific examples of which foods contain more soluble, which foods contain more insoluble, but both types are very, very important, and both types are found in most of the good things that we want to eat. So like fruits and vegetables and whole grains, oats, those kind of things. Soluble fiber, really quickly, this is the kind of fiber that's going to attract water in your GI system. So it's going to help you avoid loose bowels or diarrhea. It's going to form that gel-like substance in your body, and it's going to break down a little bit in your GI system. So it is going to provide some calories. And this is the type of fiber that's known to help reduce your cholesterol. So for heart health, we're looking for soluble fiber. So that's going to be in products like oats, like chia seeds, like flax seeds. That's going to help attract that water in your GI system. And then insoluble fiber does not dissolve in water. So that's going to be like roughage, adding bulk to your stool. That's going to be like corn or any fibrous vegetable skin, fruit or vegetable skins have that insoluble fiber or bran that's going to add that bulk to your stool. So having adequate amount of fiber is key, and increasing your fiber is key when you're talking about GI health and just regulating your bowel movements and making sure that your gut microbiome is happy and healthy. So tying those two things together, has anyone heard of prebiotics? We're talking about probiotics a lot here. Anyone heard of prebiotics? Okay, so just like it sounds, pre come before probiotics, or sort of. They are probiotics food. So prebiotics are usually fibrous foods that are going to help our gut microbiome, our healthy gut bacteria, that good gut bacteria that we want more of, those probiotics, thrive. So they're going to be used to ferment in our system and keep our healthy bugs in our gut happy. So prebiotics are often fibers, however, not all fiber are prebiotics. So prebiotics are specific. There's some options up here that are good examples. Even in some forms of dark chocolate, there's some prebiotic effects to that, which isn't necessarily high in fiber, but most of these other options are the high in fibrous, the legumes, the grains, the fresh fruit, vegetables, that are going to act as prebiotics to help our gut bacteria, our happy gut bacteria, thrive. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about synbiotics. So perfect timing, as Frank is going to pass around our salads. Our salads today are actually a perfect example of a synbiotic. So a synbiotic is any food item or product that is both a prebiotic and a probiotic. So our lovely pomegranate seeds, which is our December fruit of the month. I hope everyone's been enjoying our pomegranate seeds available at lunchtime. Those seeds, those fiber in the seeds are a prebiotic, so those are going to help our healthy gut bacteria thrive. And then the probiotic in the salad is from the dressing from that Greek yogurt. So from those live cultures in the Greek yogurt dressing. So it's sort of a best of both worlds. You've got the prebiotic, which is going to help the probiotic continue to thrive, and you're actually consuming the probiotic, so those healthy live cultures that are going to help regulate your gut microbiome and increase its diversity. So there's a picture of our delicious salad today. I hope everyone enjoys. Today's a recap. So we're going to talk about we're going to just recap really quickly. Your microbiome is unique to you. So a lot of people talk about your gut microbiome. It's like your fingerprint. No one has the same exact gut microbiome. So keep that in mind. Most of your gut microbiome develops in the first 3 years of life. So it has a lot to do with the birthing process, the formula that you were eating as a baby, the environment that you grew up in, but also it's forever changing. So what I like to say is how you can continue to improve your gut microbiome diversity and health. The number one way is diet. There's been studies that have shown that even within 2 to 3 days of making some conscious diet changes and having a more overall balanced diet, your gut microbiome tends to shift towards more happy, healthy gut bacteria and less of that pathogenic gut bacteria that can cause inflammatory issues and GI distress. So your diet can definitely influence your microbiome, even though it's something that you've had and that's unique to you since you were born. Help balance your gut microbiome. So yes, increase your intake of probiotic-rich foods. Find out if eating, 1, 2 to 3 times a week, maybe have a Greek yogurt, go out and sample some delicious sauerkraut that you know has some probiotics in it. There's delicious probiotic drinks out there in the market, like kombucha. Obviously, take it easy on your system. If your body's not used to adding live cultures and probiotics, you might have a GI effect. That means you might be going to the bathroom more regularly than not. So keep that in mind. Give yourself a couple weeks to adjust. If your body's feeling not as balanced as it was before you started adding more probiotics to your system, take that as a key. Maybe your gut is okay without adding those probiotics, but definitely it's a good thing to try to see if your system benefit from increasing your intake of probiotic rich foods. And then if for whatever reason you're not feeling like increasing your probiotics, you're not a big fan of Greek yogurt, you don't want to start a probiotic supplement, you don't like fermented foods, that's okay. You can still help balance your gut diversity and increase your happy, healthy gut by increasing your fruits and vegetables, increasing your prebiotic intake to help foster happy, healthy gut, your happy, healthy gut microbiome. So a lot like we were talking about last month, just having an overall healthful diet pattern, decreasing your consumption of animal products or meat products and saturated fat, making at least half of your plate non-starchy vegetables every day, all of those things are going to help protect your gut microbiome. And then research is only beginning. So studies have shown probiotics and healthy gut to lead to improved mental clarity. So the gut and the brain communicating with each other is an amazing realm of research that is continuing to come out. And what makes me so excited as a nutritionist or as a dietitian is when we think about our gut, we obviously think about digestion, we think about food, but the fact is that it's so much more than that. It's our overall health and well-being, our brain, our heart health. It's all connected to what's going on in our gut. Even supporting blood sugar control. So there's specific strains of probiotics that are now being studied with people with diabetes in controlling their blood sugar. So maintaining blood sugar control and helping to keep our sugars where we want them. There's certain strains of probiotics that are being studied to help with that. And suppress inflammation and reduce cancer risk. So like Francois had mentioned, now there's studies coming out about certain probiotic strains that are making more of these short-chain fatty acids in our system that are reducing our overall inflammation in our body, so helping to prevent chronic disease like cancer, like diabetes, like heart disease, like kidney issues. It's blowing up. So we're going to hear more and more about probiotics and our gut microbiome as the years go on, and it's a really exciting part of nutritional science. So I look forward to keeping you guys updated. And any questions? I'm going to answer your question, but I would love to meet with anyone individually. Let's keep that in mind too. If you guys have any specific inquiries about you want to start a probiotic supplement, you are having certain symptoms of GI distress, and you just want to know if maybe increasing your probiotic intake would be right for you. So keep that in mind, and please come talk to me after this, and you can always get a hold of me by asking the front desk. I'm here Monday through Friday, so I'm here for you guys. Yes?
Because the reflex,
Yes.
okay, they put me on a very strict diet of no coffee, no fruits, and other things.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the
Low
things
acid.
they said is do not lay down for 3 hours after eating. Okay.
Yes.
Tell me more. They didn't tell me. They just said don't lay down for 3 hours. What do they mean by laying down? Do they mean taking a nap if you're sitting up, or laying down actually?
Yeah, so laying down actually is probably what they're referring to. So if you're having any reflux, that means that in the digestion process, after you're chewing or swallowing, it's going down. Something's not going down as quickly as it should. So the recommendation of not laying down after eating is simply to avoid what gravity will do. So gravity is gonna, when you're laying down like this, is not gonna help push everything down where it needs to go. When you're standing up or sitting up after consumption of food, that's gonna help your body do what it naturally should, is keep moving down the GI tract. So keep on going down into the stomach, from the stomach not to come back up, to go down into the small intestine and then into the large intestine. So just to help yourself out with, but definitely like a small recommendation, it actually is pretty effective in terms of helping to relieve GERD or reflux symptoms. Yes. Any other questions? How are our morning breakfast salads?
Great.
Okay, good. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for coming. We're going to have this on video next month. Ooh, I think I have that up here. Yes. Next Nutrition Talk is going to be January 7th, 2022. So I'll see you all next year. We're going to talk about immune boosting foods since it's going to be, winter time. I thought it would be a good idea to focus on what foods we can take in more of to help boost our immunity and keep that seasonal cold and flu away. Thank you guys. Thank you.